Did you ever find Bugs Bunny attractive when he'd put on a dress and play a girl bunny?
No. No.
Neither did I. I was just asking.
Did you ever think that maybe there's more to life than being really, really, really ridiculously good looking?
Crush your enemies, see them driven before you, and hear the lamentation of their women.
Oh, Hercules, 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 Hercules!
Silence! I kill you!
You walk over, but you're limping back.
It is his love. It is his passion. It is his fault he didn't lock the garage.
We got no food, we got no jobs, our pets' heads are falling off!
I feel the need for speed.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the intersection of faith, family, and filmmaking. You're listening to Fearless with Mark and Amber. Life is confusing, culture is loud, but God's word is clear. Here you'll find hope, truth, and practical encouragement to stand strong in your faith and lead your family with courage. I'm Amber Archer, and joining me is my husband, author, director, speaker, Mark Archer.
Are you threatening me? I am the great cornhole.
You can learn more about us and the movies we're making by visiting fearlessfeatures.org. It's also a great place to make that one-time or monthly donation if you are passionate about reaching the lost for Christ through media. Visit fearlessfeatures.org to share your support today.
I don't like you because you're dangerous.
New open.
Hey, I got through it.
Yeah, you did good.
I was like, this is what we're about.
You're everyone's problem.
We need to refresh this.
We're still everyone's problem.
It's fine.
Happy to be here this
Bring
morning.
some hope, joy.
What was I going to say about last week's? So this is weird. So apologize that the audio version got out late.
That was really weird.
Strange reason, SoundCloud, which we use to host. So wherever you're listening to it from, doesn't matter. It's pulling the file. It's hosted on SoundCloud. And SoundCloud sent us an email first thing in the morning, says your track has been removed for
Pornography?
Pornographic content.
We're like,
what?
How is that even possible? What?
So yeah, that was odd.
That.
There was no explanation, so we just re-uploaded.
Yeah, so I mean, it's still there. Last week's is still there. You can still listen to it.
Yeah, so if you missed it, sorry, wasn't my deal. I don't know. Weird things like that happen from time to time, and sometimes it's because trolls are out there messing with you, and they'll report you for stuff. I mean, stranger things have happened.
I mean, we were talking about AI last week.
Yeah, it was probably Chat GPT, and it went in, and
who knows? Who knows?
It's the beast system coming after us already.
So anyway, you had something interesting along the lines of AI.
Yeah.
Because we have talked about this for years in the social media world and just how much it's so fake. So much of what you see and everything that's being shoved in your face repeatedly through these ads and clicks.
Yeah, I've been reading a lot lately about what's called the dead internet theory. And if you haven't heard about this, I'll give you a warning. If you look this up in any of the big tech search engines, they're going to tell you it's a conspiracy theory. Now, let me just remind us all that what else have we seen over the past few years that was labeled a conspiracy theory?
I was just going to say time out, because how many things have been labeled conspiracy that have actually come true, come to fruition.
We're pretty much 10 out of 10 so far.
Wow,
right?
okay.
All these things, started back in 2020, all these things that were just wild conspiracy theory. People getting debunked, deplatformed. We got deplatformed
suddenly
for being wild conspiracy theorists, right? And now, gosh, it's all true. It's all being laid out bare. So especially when you see Wikipedia. So if you look on, we're going to put this link to a YouTube video that you have to watch. And I don't want to use too much of what he was talking about. I just want to talk about it because Tim Pool, who's a big podcaster and don't always agree on everything he says, but I think what they talk about is they're pretty spot on a lot of stuff. But because there's so much, I mean, if you really want to get the gist of it.
What is it, like 10 minutes?
It's about a 10-minute clip.
Yeah.
And he does a 2-3 hour podcast every day. So, so I've seen several people talking about this, and we have noticed. So anyway, what I was saying is, when you go to this link and you're watching this, you will notice on the YouTube link at the bottom, it'll give you a Wikipedia note to tell you that dead internet theory is a conspiracy theory.
Wait, is this something that YouTube put up, or
Yes,
is this something?
It's on, YouTube puts these things up.
Yeah, okay.
So we know that it's probably true. Because if you don't know, Wikipedia, not a trustworthy source at all.
No, that's what I say. I would not. I mean, we reference it for entertainment every once in a while.
They do get some things right. The whole idea of it was basically a crowdsourced encyclopedia that anyone could edit. That's a bad idea, really, when you think about it. That's why. But it's not true, because if you ever go and try to list yourself on Wikipedia or edit your own, I'm on Wikipedia.
Well, and it was interesting because I remember many years ago, when Wikipedia first became a thing, and we looked you up on Wikipedia, and there's a musician who has the same name, and so they had things wildly incorrect and put together, combined.
And I cannot get in and edit myself.
Yeah.
I just can't. They don't have my credits right. They have, everything they have is really old, and so whatever. So don't tell me that it's the encyclopedia that anyone can, because it's not true. If you want to see an example of this, Cheryl Atkinson, who's a journalist, very well-respected journalist, and she's written several books, and one of her latest books, I forget which one it's called, but she wrote a book where she talked about being blacklisted. She doesn't present herself as a Christian conservative right-wing journalist or anything. She used to work for CBS, but she basically got red-pilled and woke up to what was really happening and started questioning the narrative. And she wrote a whole book about how she was targeted by the system, and how even Wikipedia had gone in and put all these false accusations in about her. And so when you look at how these things are all intermingled, if you're using a search engine like Google, the first thing that Google pops up on any search is Wikipedia. It's right off to the side, right? To the right side, you'll see the Wikipedia. Well, Wikipedia is the fake information library, basically. So it's written by and managed by a bunch of crazed leftists. And so whatever it is, you may get partially true results from Google, but on the right, you're going to get the Wikipedia slant. So anyway, I'm on a tangent there, but the dead internet theory is this whole thing. So we noticed years ago when we first started trying to advertise our films on social media. And so we're a small business. So we said, okay, let's try a small ad buy on Facebook. And so we did Facebook, and it,
okay. And let me just preface this with, this
Mm-hmm.
was for the Mind Polluters when we released it.
Yes.
I remember distinctively because I was the one setting all this up. We had gone through, set all the parameters, and interestingly enough, through our hosting website, we are able to see real time how many people are actually on our website. We can track that, because what was happening was we were releasing the film internationally. And so it was being seen in over 145 countries.
Yeah.
So we were wanting to see and track where it was being shown.
Right.
And so it was interesting test theory,
right,
to see the tracking and what was correlating through the marketing engine of the social media platform. We won't name names, I guess.
Meta.
And and real time what was actually happening on the website and the other avenues that we were pushing the film out at.
Right.
So go ahead.
Just being, just being simple-minded folk that we are.
Yeah.
We thought, well, if Facebook is taking our money, and so what you can do is you can go in and you can say, okay, here's my budget. Say it's $100. You say, Facebook, I'll spend $100. You tell it what it's about. You submit your ad, and you don't want your you don't want to advertise the Mind Polluters, for example, to someone who is an Antifa member.
Yeah.
Right.
Or somebody trying to buy makeup, or you know what I mean? Like there's parameters that you put on these things.
Right. I want parents, I want grandparents, you put in search terms, conservative, Christian, Republican. Right. So, okay. And so it uses that to target who you're advertising.
Hence, you put all of your information online.
Right. So that's what you're paying for when you advertise. So that information that you're giving to Facebook, that's why it gives you ads that it thinks you want to see. And we can complain about it from a privacy standpoint, but the truth is you want to see things that are of interest to you. Otherwise, you're not going to keep going back.
Right.
So if I keep getting advertisements for makeup, I'm not going to go on Facebook. I don't need makeup. I like advertisements for guns, right?
Right.
So,
and they know that.
And they know that very well. And so there's a give and a take there, right? I don't mind it so much. But so we figured, well, so if they're taking my money and saying that they're getting in advertising, there's something called impressions, cost per impression. So this is where the black magic comes in. It's how they define an impression.
Yes.
And what you find is if somebody scrolls past your ad, that's an impression. We're going to charge you money for that. If they happen to, just anything, if any single little notion that you were almost kind of there, they count that as an impression and they charge you for it.
Right.
What you want is clicks that will lead to interaction on your website, right? So that's what we were after. That's what everybody's after. I want you to buy my product. And so
or at least know about it.
Or at least know about it. So we were comparing clicks from Facebook.
Because they say that they give you real-time feedback.
Right. And they show you very detailed, this time, this click. And so we're looking at, now they're not telling us your name and where you live and all that. It's just saying, user.
Yeah.
Basically. But we're looking at it and then we're going, okay, so now we should go over to the website and find this person and see.
I love numbers.
See what they did, right? So that helps us to know if it's helping or not, if we're.
Is it worth my time and value?
Right. Am I correctly explaining? So if you click through and maybe there's a broken link on our webpage, so we can go, wait a minute, what's something they're not converting,
right?
Basically.
Yeah. What is the behavior on the website?
Right.
If you actually get there, and how long are you staying?
Right.
Because I can see those things.
There's the rub. So what we noticed was most of the clicks, 99% of the clicks that they were charging us money for, never went to the website, or if they did, they were on the website for 1 second and gone.
Yeah.
And we're going, now something's not right here.
Yeah.
Something is not computing here. And so you do that enough and you realize, truth is I spent $100 on advertising and I didn't get a single sale. And so they've got a solution for that. They'll charge you more money and sell you an upgraded package. But what you realize is that a lot of the clicks are not real people.
Yeah. Well, and I think that it goes to, so highly encourage you guys to go and watch this video, because what we're talking about, at the end, they do talk about how much community, face-to-face, in-person interaction is really how you overcome this. And so that's, especially if you've watched any of our films, the best way that you can help us and help your community is actually share about the films with your friends and family and coworkers and administrators, people who, when you start to see an issue happening in your school system, in your district, in your area, and you're saying, hey, what is this all about? Our films do a great job of, and I'm not trying to pat us on the back by any means, but we have talked to so many people, researched this stuff for years, and just putting all the pieces together so you can see it fleshed out in 1 hour to 2 hours of information that you can say, wow, I never even knew. Because we're just like you. We never knew.
Well, that's what people have said is you strung it all together. So now I understand.
Yeah.
And
because these things are hard to talk about, and it's hard to watch families go through. It's hard to see the deception played out in real life.
Yeah. Motion pictures are powerful. They're a powerful way to communicate a message that maybe in a a seminar with PowerPoints would take all day.
Yeah.
And so we can sum things up in a short amount of time. So that's, So anyway, dead internet theory is basically the belief that, and I think there's some validity to it. Just because of our experience that, I don't think it's theory that a vast majority, or at least a growing majority of internet traffic is bots, that it's not actual people. And if you watch Tim Pool's video and he talks about why, and there's some plausible theories in there as to why, but many people have talked about this, and we just shared our experience that we were getting clicks. Facebook was taking our money and saying we got you clicks, but they weren't real. They're obviously not real people because. And I'm not saying that everybody's going to have 100% conversion rate, but when they click through and then just immediately
the
leave,
numbers side by side did not add up.
Because the kind of people that are interested in our films, they don't just click and leave. We just know them because we've met you, right? We know that when you come, you're looking for information, so you don't just click and leave, and that's so it never made sense to us, and so now hearing this theory that a lot of it is fake.
Well, I think in how I say how odd, how awesome, how whatever, because we sit and we research all day long, and to actually find something that really has been trending for a little while. This is not new.
Right.
But as we research more and more with AI and seeing how much of it is, how much that information, quote unquote information, are we taking in on a regular basis? And I'm not saying we as in you and I, am saying we as a society, as a culture, as people. How much are we being spoon-fed now that's computer generated?
Yeah, a lot. A lot.
I mean,
a ton. And I can guarantee you that everything that we produce is 100% human.
Yeah.
So in speaking of that, I guess, 100% human stories.
Yeah.
So,
well, it's so awesome. Here we're going to, go off onto our next section here, but just having the opportunity on Sunday to sit and photograph. I love photographing baptisms, and we had an opportunity to do that. And I was this morning, as I was thinking and praying, just how amazing it is to see a life changed for Christ. Such were some of you. Things aren't pretty, people. And I just get so excited about what that means for the next generation, what that means for that one person, and how many that one person will impact. And it's awesome. It's awesome to be a part of the family of God. Anyway.
So speaking of that, and some of you have started to pre-order my book.
Yeah.
Thank you for that, helping us to get our next film, Principalities, going. So I wanted to talk a little bit more about the specifics of the book. So the introduction in the first chapter, I talk about how I first came to Christ, and I was young. I was almost 6 years old. And I want to be very clear here. I did not get saved in a dream. I had a dream. I knew very clearly what it meant. And then I went to my mom. I'll tell you the dream. I had this dream that I was watching my mom and dad and my sister and my grandma Archer, and they were all holding their Bibles. They were dressed for church, and it was like they were on a glass platform, and they were all looking up to heaven, and they were going up to heaven.
And you share this in your book.
I share this story in my book. And then I could see myself, and behind me was my other grandma, Grandma Claviter, and she had little devil horns and a tail. And she was holding me by the shoulders and saying, "You don't need them. You just stay here with Grandma." Mm-hmm. And I was crying out to my family for them not to leave me. And it terrified me. And I woke up and I knew exactly what it meant, because I knew, even at that age, I knew that I was not a Christian, but the rest of my family was, except for Grandma Claviter. Mm-hmm. Now, Grandma Claviter did come to Christ literally on her deathbed, mm-hmm. about 2 days before she died. But to me, I knew what that meant. And so I went downstairs that morning and told my mom that I wanted to ask Jesus into my heart. Mm-hmm. And we went upstairs and knelt down next to my bed, and I asked Jesus to forgive me for my sins. And that's when my life in Christ started. And so that's the introduction. Mm-hmm. And so that story then leads to fast forwarding to, I'm a junior in high school, and Bible class, we got sent outside to journal. And I found myself over at the soccer field sitting under this willow tree that I used to, that I had many memories under, because we lived right across the road from the school. And this was right next to the soccer field. And I would go over to the soccer field during the summer, and I would fly my model rockets. I've done model rockets, model boats, model planes, model cars, mm-hmm. trains, all of the above. I would fly my model rockets, and then I later flew my model airplanes over there. And so it was just, and I played soccer. And so it was just this place that I had grown to kind of love, and it was my shelter. And so I'm sitting under this willow tree, and I had been wrestling with having this thought that I wanted to get into making movies. But I really had discovered that I loved filmmaking. Mm-hmm. And so I was wrestling with it, and had this conversation with the Lord, and said,
as a young man, as a
young man, I'm 17, and I'm trying, and in the book I say, of course, as I'm older, I like to mock teenagers and their drama. But the truth is, at 17 years old, these are some serious life-changing decisions that you're making. Yeah. And so everybody expected me to go into engineering, because it kind of ran in the family. But I really discovered, it's not that I didn't like engineering per se, but I didn't dream of doing it. It
wasn't your calling.
It wasn't my calling. What my calling was to make movies. Mm-hmm. This was the early 90s in Indiana. There was no YouTube. There was no, so this was a big decision, right? So it's not like you could just go and learn this on YouTube University. And so nobody really knew how to counsel me on this. But I made this covenant, if you will, this promise to the Lord, that I was going to make movies to glorify Him. Mm-hmm. And that was the beginning of it. It only took me a few years after that before I completely abandoned my promise to the Lord, and started pursuing, and part of it was just open rebellion. Big part of it was because I was seeking out the experience and the learning to learn a career that is so far beyond what you're going to learn being a church video technician. And so by the time I graduated high school, I knew how to run a whole TV studio by myself. I just spent all of my time in there, and our church had a broadcast quality production studio. So I knew how to do everything.
Can I just pause for a second? Because as you're explaining this, and just as we have worked on many of these films, one of the very glaring issues, if you will, when kids are, you wonder why, you research Ken Ham and Already Gone, and he talks about the crisis of the youth leaving the church. And George Barna, the research that he has done with the statistics of youth leaving the church, walking away from their faith, and you have a real life example and experience, because what the Lord had gifted you in and is using you for, especially now, it was really only the world was willing to show you
That's right.
how to do it.
That's right.
And so you can see very easily how quickly, and that's why we desperately need more Christian filmmakers. We desperately need more Christians in the arts and entertainment industry. I can't say enough about it, of how glaring it really has been, especially just from our perspective. And I'm not saying that just because we're filmmakers. You just realize the huge void in good, valuable, God-honoring content.
Creatives are going to find an outlet.
Yes, they will.
One place or another. And if your church if your church doesn't give them a creative outlet, they're going to find it somewhere else. So I celebrate churches that not only allow but embrace artistic talent on stage. Don't shove them in the corner. Let them be part of making things better. Art is beautiful.
And we're to build each other up, using our gifts and talents, sharing those to build up the body.
Yeah, the church services shouldn't simply be an industrial affair. It's not just a manufacturing process. It should be a creative expression of and not just there. Listen, there are creatives who aren't part of the worship team.
Yeah.
Right. There are creatives who can't sing worth a lick, but maybe they can illustrate. Maybe they, maybe they can paint. Maybe they can build sets. Maybe they are videographers or aspiring filmmakers. Maybe they're aspiring sound designers. All of those. There's a lot of that, and it needs to be nurtured by the church. That's how we would not be doing what we do today if it weren't for me coming back to my roots, growing up, learning this in the church.
Well, as we were just sitting here talking about it, I think about how many pastors' kids you have seen through history who have, in the arts and entertainment, Axl Rose, I thought of, Marilyn Manson.
Yep.
Britney, was it Britney Spears?
Katy Perry.
Katy Perry.
Yeah.
I mean, these were all
away.
Pastors' kids.
They walk away because the church rejects them, has nothing for them. So, yeah. And let me end with this quick story, and then we'll go, I'll tease this story because then you need to tune in next week. But that same time period as I'm a high schooler, my experience with visiting missionaries that came to a chapel service.
This is a very sad story.
Nearly crushed everything that I had dreamed of that we're doing right now. If I had listened to these missionaries, we would not be doing what we're doing right now. So you have to tune in next week to hear that story, because I don't want to.
We can't get into it. It's going to be too long.
You can pre-order Compromised right now on the website, right?
Yeah, pre-order Compromised, and every copy helps us start the next film of Principalities, Doctrine and Demons.
Okay.
All right. That's all the time we have for today, friends. Thanks for listening through to the end, and be sure to click that subscribe button so you never miss an episode. And share this with your family and friends. Until next time, march on, saints, and be filled with the Spirit.
So I'm gonna go now. I don't even know what that means. Okay.
Chicken spice latte.
Man, I'm tired of eating.